Welcome to the Blue Cafe. We bring you stories of faith, love, and devotion. Yeah, just kidding, please help us grow by hitting that like button. Now on to the story. Dealing with the aftermath of emotional and physical cheating. Advice. Hello, so pretty much I'm in a circumstance where I, 22M, and my partner, 20F, are dealing with the aftermath of infidelity. Our relationship is an international long-distance one and we have been dating since November 26th of last year, and most of the times within the last 10 months have been wonderful, but a lot of other moments have not. I finally visited her in person once I finally had the chance due to my schooling to visit her the week of our 6-month anniversary, and I stayed for 3.5 weeks. In that time it was some of the best moments of my life. Up until around 1.5 weeks of being there I snooped a little bit out of a gut instinct and ended up discovering her texting some guy a few months prior to me being there, 2 months prior to be exact, in late March. In that text I discovered her texting about how she felt really bad about what happened with this other guy. The guy she was texting with was friends with, obviously not including any names, and I immediately became suspicious and pointed it out to her, asking what it's about, which created a very emotional reaction. She told me all it was with that guy was a dance, and we went over to her friend's place who was with her that night and talked with her as well about the incident, in which nothing new came about. I decided to leave it be, at least for the remainder of my time there. We continued to have an amazing time, but my gut instinct kept telling me I was wrong, and all the details were there to prove I was. That night in which I'm referring to, she barely messaged me at all and went out with her girlfriend and her girlfriend's boyfriend and all of his mates. She was gone until around 5 a.m. and by the time she got back she had a mark on her lip, a lip icky. She tried to fool me in the moment, telling me it was stuff it was not, blah blah blah. Around a month and a half after being with her in person, I talked with some people she was out that night with. In between that time me and my partner would have arguments about her not remembering certain details and not being able to back up many of her claimed details with evidence out of her memory being bad and her being very drunk. Anyways, I discovered from this friend, who at this point my partner was no longer friends with anymore, that she in fact did kiss a guy that night, which was no surprise to me. Asked her friend's boyfriend, who was also there that night. He told me the exact same things she did, so it all made sense. The point was, she made out with this guy for around an estimated minute. They guessed in the club while insanely drunk. They really told me they wanted the best for this relationship too, regardless of them being used to being her friend and nowhere near being my friend. They also mentioned after the club they all went to a fast food joint, as they typically did after clubbing every night they would. She then walked back with the guy she made out with back to her place, who was just walking her back at 5 a.m. in the city to her apartment. The guy she made out with tried to make a sexual advance once they got back to her apartment, and he followed her in, and she ran out and ran over to her friend and her friend's boyfriend's place, crying to them about the situation. Well, after learning all these details, regardless, she finally owns up to all of this stuff herself. Even her friends told me she cried to them the entire day after when she met up with them about how terrible she felt about it. Boo-hoo, I know, but I'm not trying to use her drunkenness and shit memory as an excuse for what she did to me. She did what she did because that night she didn't care about our relationship and the commitment to it anymore, but now regrets it. She still tells me now that she doesn't necessarily remember what happened in the club, but she does remember what happened after the club hours later, when the drunkenness had started to wear off just slightly enough for her to be more aware of the situation. I can appreciate, should it be the truth told from her friends and her now as well, that she denied his sexual advancements, but she still didn't call me when she got back as she normally would. I had to call her, and by the time I called her she was at her friend's place, so I heard some of the crying and I was there for her after she left and went back to her place. This guy this all happened with, though, kept sending messages to both her and her friend that he didn't want anything serious and didn't want a relationship, spamming it even to some degree, which doesn't add up to that they didn't even do anything sexual as of my knowledge. Here I am in this relationship months later, pondering to myself most nights if I'm making the right choice. 10 months into the relationship now. I refer to emotional cheating at the beginning because within the first 4.5 months of our relationship she was a very flirty individual. She had toxic mindsets and let it surpass her boundaries, and that is certainly most likely the mindset that led her to doing something physical when drunk and the urge coming to fruition. With all of this happening before I even met her in person, I now wonder, should I be a little more forgiving? I asked her if she wished she had not committed to me as fast as she did, and we had a heartfelt conversation about it. She says she wishes she waited a few months more to fully commit so she could make sure her toxic tendencies had faded a little more. The bottom line is, I'm really trying to have hope in that she is and will be a better person from all of this. Even today she still claims to not remember the details of the events, most of them anyway, but has no problem owning up to them now at least. She really has become broken low, and it's very evident not only to me but her family from what she did. I think talking about the feelings of everything that has happened in the relationship mentally destroyed her more than she regretted, and had the fear of losing me already and let that fear on through her decisions after what happened. I'd like to say I'm better now, but I don't even feel comfortable with her going out clubbing without me anymore since I know this happened. Every other night she ever went clubbing, though she always messaged me way more, never was as drunk as she was the night of the incident, and it was always a nice time. I really want things to be that way again, but maybe they never will be. Should I just let go? It is just very hard mentally for both of us, but I just like to maintain my hope for the best of everything. There's more details too minor, but I can go into those another time, I suppose. Thanks for any advice. She cheated on you and gaslighted you. You are also young and have lots of time, and I think if you stay with this woman you will eventually get married and have many more regrets when she cheats on you again. So by this logic that she will cheat again if I was to marry her years down the line, is that to say people who cheat don't actually change? She could change, but it's not worth the risk. I mean, you only live once and there's a good chance you will end up trapped and with regrets, but if you leave and work on yourself you may end up with something amazing. It's the truth. If you forgive her now, she will do it again since I've okayed her actions, by not breaking up. But don't believe me, instead waste a few more years of your life trying to convince yourself that she won't cheat on you again. The next time will be harder on you if you marry and have kids. If you leave now, you have dodged a bullet. Exclusive, LD relationships suck and rarely work out. They work better if they aren't exclusive. It will happen again. Probably the next time she visits a club alone. Her guilt didn't stop her from doing it. Many women require attention and validation from other men, and you will never be enough for her. You are young and haven't wasted too much time in this relationship, and it's time to leave and find a girl who lives closer to you. Ask yourself, since she broke your trust and never told you about her hookup, is she truly remorseful? Can you ever trust her again? If your answer to both questions is no, it's time to get out and move on. I don't know about the first question in regards to remorse, because there is a difference between regret and remorse in my eyes. I also don't think I'd refer to this situation as a hookup, seeing as they made out in the club, and that is apparently as far as it went. As for can I ever trust her again? I won't lie, I do feel my trust getting stronger again, but I guess time will tell. What I mean, does she realize that she messed up big time and she is sorry for her actions? Or is she just upset because you found out and she would have never told you otherwise? The question is, can you trust her again? Do you think she will never do it again? What if you get married and she cheats again? How will that make you feel? Obviously if she cheats again, she won't tell you and will do her best to hide her infidelity from you. Has she agreed to giving you permanent access to her phone and deleting her social media accounts? It's up to her to make things right with you. What has she done so far? I'm hoping I can. I don't fully know if she will do it again, but I'm really just relying on the time will tell mindset. If it does, of course I'd be heartbroken, maybe not surprised, but maybe shocked too. She has given me access to her social media, whether it's a login or showing me her DMs type of thing, you know? I think that's progress. She also has stopped drinking unless it's with her family or me, so that's nice. Hopefully these small improvements increase and then lead up to something better, but marriage isn't in sight so far, and neither is engagement. I'm gonna give it these next few months leading up to my year anniversary to really see if more stuff starts to unfold emotionally or physically again. It's up to you. If you think you can reconcile with each other, it might work. I have my doubts, but it's your relationship. Good luck. After all, it's your life, and after reading thousands of these stories, it usually doesn't work out. But maybe your relationship will be different from all the rest. I wish you good luck with her. We hope you have enjoyed today's episode. Please comment, like and subscribe. Cheers. Have a wonderful day or night. Wherever you are.